back to Craftmas episode 4. Today has been a little bit of a weird day because I've been focusing on making a new knitting pattern, which I feel like designing knitting patterns sounds like very fun and like you're knitting all the time, and of course knitting is a big part of the job. But actually today has just been working with my spreadsheet, trying to figure out all of the numbers, and this is going to be a really complicated design. Basically I'm designing a raglan cardigan with bubbles, cables and some seed stitch, which that is alright, that sounds doable. But then of course I'm going to add German short rows to make it fit better. Then I'm also planning on making this a compound raglan, so the shape is a little bit more unusual and it's not just like a straight raglan like this, but with a compound raglan, the raglan is actually shaped like an S, which should make it fit better. So I'm also doing that combined with all of the texture that we're doing. And then I'm also going to be sticking it in the front. So this cardigan I'm going to rate 5 out of 5 for difficulty for my knitting pattern, which I've never done before, because it just feels like it has so many different techniques, and that's also making this process a little bit more difficult and longer than it usually would be. So I've been working at this since like 12 o'clock or something, or even before that, like 11, and it's already 3:30 and I still have not progressed further than basically what I've cast on. But I think I'm almost there and ready to start my German short row shaping, and I still have to make a lot of charts. So there's still a lot to do. Tomorrow is going to be a little bit more of a fun day for the vlog, because tomorrow I will be sewing a bunch of things. And then I also finished my little mittens this morning, so I do want to show you those because they turned out so cute. I am really happy with them, and of course that I get to wear these now because my hands have been freezing whilst I've been on the bike. Just that little red bow on the front is adorable in my opinion, so I'm very happy with these. Definitely want to make this pattern again because I found it very, like a super quick knit. You can use any type of yarn, it's perfect for scrap yarn. Then of course you don't have to add the bow, but it's a fun little touch that doesn't require a lot of extra work actually. So for the rest of the day I'm probably going to try and make a little bit more progress on my cardigan. Hopefully by tonight I will have actually something to show you and something with the stitch pattern going on. Like at least 10 centimeters would be nice to have that amount done. And then, because today is December 9th, we can also open our advent. I'm just laughing at this point because we're still on the pinks. I'm fine with a fade, but how much longer are we going to get pink yarn? Like, this is a little bit crazy. Yeah, basically the same as the days before. Just bright pink yarn with very minimal speckles this time. I guess that's the only difference. I do love this advent, but I want to see some other colors right now. I thought we would be heading into that direction. Since we've already opened 9 days, we're past 1/3. So I feel like there should have been more colors by now, but maybe that was maybe I misunderstood something, I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more knitting, but mostly working on this spreadsheet, and then we will catch up together later. Welcome back to Tuesday, December 10th already. I cannot believe the days are flying by so fast. First of all, let's just open our advent. I keep laughing because are we surprised that it's pink? We're still on the pinks. Very pretty. And speaking of advent knitting, I'm actually doing something fun. Today I actually reorganized all of my yarn, and it was because I was looking for this project bag, and then I found this project bag in a hallway and it was stuffed with yarn. And then I was like, where did all of this yarn come from? So I felt the sudden urge to just reorganize all of it. Very happy that I did, and I do have a bag full of yarn that eventually I would like to do some type of giveaway with, but I don't know if that's going to happen soon. But for sure it will be sometime this month, and I will probably do 2 prizes, so that is going to be very exciting. So definitely stay on the lookout for that. As you may know, I'm planning to knit the Anemone Sweater by Knitting for Olive, and I got my main color yarn probably like a few days ago. I received it, which is the Drops Fiesta in their beige colorway, which looks like this. I really like this color. Then I'm going to use this for the green leaves, which is Long Yarns Merino 200 and Long Yarns Alpaca Super Light. So this is going to be all of the leaves. Then I have that same exact yarn in this like pink rosewood color. Then also in this really light lilac color. So those could be 2 different kinds of flowers. Then I found some Drops North in my stash and some matching suri. And I think this could be another fun flower. So then we have 3 colors. And then I was thinking to repeat those 3 colors. So I could have, for example, the pink, the lilac and the yellowish mustard color. And then a hand-dyed advent skein. So I picked the ones that to me kind of looked a little bit like duplicates. In the daylight it's much easier to tell which ones are actually like the same or very similar. And actually it's still kind of daylight, but we had to put the lights on already, even though it's 4 o'clock. So the ones I have picked so far that I think would suit this sweater well and that I feel like they are different enough as well are these ones. So we have a very bright pink one, then like a medium, more lighter pink, and then this more tangerine color. I think this one was from day 1. And then I found just some mohair leftovers that will kind of match each of these colors. So I even found one that is almost neon pink to match this one. I feel like this is a decent kind of match. And I think that will be really fun to kind of alternate this. So it's not going to be like all hand dyed, but it's also not going to be completely like regular dyed yarn. So I'm very excited to actually cast this on. And speaking of knits and casting things on, you saw me yesterday working on a new design, and I basically stared at the computer for I think 9 hours yesterday, or maybe even 12. Then at the end of the day I kind of felt sick, because that's what happens when you just work 24/7. Or not 24/7, but basically you work too many hours in a single day without taking proper breaks. So it was my own fault, and I really had to, take a step back from that project, and I did decide to just go for a kind of different design. So originally the design was going to be a raglan, and I just don't have a lot of experience with that. And then combined with the usual things that I do, like the sweater I'm wearing now, like cables, bubbles, everything, it just was not working out. So I've decided that I'm going to just do a drop shoulder sweater, and I think that is also going to be really cute. And honestly, when I imagine it in my head, I also picture myself wearing it, and that's how I kind of know that it's going to be a good one. At least I'm going to enjoy wearing it. So of course I have not cast on yet, but I will today, because there is still plenty of time in the day to do so. So I would love to cast on the design and make a bit of progress there. And then I would like to cast on my Anemone Sweater, which is going to be bottom up. So it's going to be pretty mindless, because I think we're just starting out with 2x2 ribbing. So I need to get the pattern for that. But first I sadly do need to go out once again to ship some Vinted orders. But I can't complain, at least I made a little bit of money. So. And then the rest of the day I spent making these really cute trousers. So this is a pattern that I've made I think 3 times before, but 1 pair was a fail, so that went straight to the thrift store. But this is my 3rd wearable pair. So these are the pants from the Ruffle Brunch Set by Matchy Matchy Sewing Club. And I absolutely love these pants. So they are, I think, like my go-to pants, especially if I want an elasticated waistband. And they have these really cute ruffles on the hem, which I really like. And I made this in that green satin cotton that I showed in my haul, I think in Craftmas, I don't know, in one of these episodes. So I think these are really festive, but definitely something you can also wear throughout the year. And this green color is just very beautiful. So I love how these turned out. And I actually didn't want to grab my overlocker when I was making these. So I decided to have French seams for all of the seams on the inside, which does look very nice. So I'm really happy with that as a finishing. And then only for the ruffle at the bottom, I decided to use like one of the fake overlock stitches from my sewing machine. But even that still looks pretty good, I think. And it did take like 20 times as long as my overlocker machine would do this stitch. But at least the color matches perfectly. So that is what I made today. So I'm going to go outside and ship those packages, and then I'm going to get cozy and get started with 2 new knitting projects. This time I really want to cast on, because I keep saying I'm going to cast things on and then I don't. So we're going to do it, and we're going to do it together, and then I would also love to watch just a chill Christmas movie and just really slow down, because tomorrow will be another work day and a day after that as well in the fabric store. So I like to slow down a little bit on Tuesday so that I'm not as stressed out when I have to work my other job. So yeah, I will catch you back here later.
Like Christmas Day, for peace we pray. Like Christmas Day.
Hello and welcome back. Today is Wednesday, the 11th of December. I just came back from work, so I am a little bit tired, so I'm going to keep this a little bit short. First of all, I have already opened my advent because me and my boyfriend were really curious about the color. And it is pink again, but it is very speckled, so it's definitely a pretty one. Super speckled. It's very cute. Then yesterday I also cast on my Anemone Sweater by Knitting for Olive. It's knit bottom up, so knitting this right now is really nice and mindless. I'm also happy to have a sweater on the needles again. So this is the progress that I made yesterday. Just, I don't know, like 3 centimeters of ribbing done. So I'm going to be knitting on this tonight. Then I did cast on my design for a second time. And sadly, I'm not happy with it. And it's also partly due to the yarn. The yarn is the Drops Nepal, which I have used before. And honestly, I don't think this yarn is for me, which is really interesting because the lighter version of this yarn, the Drops Lima, is one of my favorite yarns. But I think the Drops Nepal is basically too light of a fabric and too soft and drapey on the 5mm needles. But then the end result is still a very heavy garment. So basically I want the fabric to be denser, but then I also want the entire garment to be a bit lighter. So I'm thinking about ordering the Drops Air and then holding that together with some kind of kid silk mohair, or even like the Drops Nord, so some fingering or sport weight yarn, maybe even sizing up to a 6mm needle. I think that could also be fun. I've never designed something on a 6mm needle. So I can show you what this looked like, but I don't think this is going to become my design at all. I'm actually thinking of doing something very different, and I think I'm going to design 2 different cardigans, and I feel like one is going to be more intricate than the other. It's just kind of why I'm designing 2 of them, is because there are a lot of details that I want to do, and I just cannot combine it all into one cardigan because I'm overcomplicating things and it just makes grading and everything a big nightmare. And that's why I want to make 2 cardigans. And I'm just moving some things around for next year because I do have everything kind of planned out already. So that is my little catch up. Sadly returning a lot of yarn that I ordered and that I don't really like. But that does mean that I'm going to order yarn again and we can do another unboxing. And sometimes this is just how designing goes. Like you cast on multiple times and do a lot of different spreadsheets and things don't work out. And sadly that's a part of the process too. I do have to admit, usually it's a very smooth sailing process for me. Usually things turn out the way I want to, but sometimes it doesn't. So I hope you still enjoyed just seeing a tiny bit of the behind the scenes of me making a new design. For now, I wish you all a very happy day, happy knitting, and I hope to see you in my next Craftmas episode. Bye bye!